Hi guys, it's Chelsea, and today I'm going to be talking about the first book I DNF'd this year, which was The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. So, straight off the bat, I've got to be honest, this is the second time I've tried to read this book. I tried to read it last year, sort of like the beginning of the first UK lockdown, I believe. And I couldn't get into it. Now, I thought maybe it was just because I was stressed with uni or with just life at that time. I don't know. But I put it down with every intention of picking it back up. And so when it was picked for January's TBR, I got quite excited because, it's a crime thriller. I love crime. Just crime stories are really interesting. And this had a really good premise. So the the premise of this book is that a group of friends who met at Oxford while they were at uni always go on a trip at New Year's. It's December 2018. They go up to Scotland. They hire out this cabins, and they're gonna have a great time. They've all grown up. They're in their like early to mid 30s. Um, and I thought this was going to be a really good premise. They're all trapped here because of the snow. It's a really isolated place. I come from a pretty isolated place, so I know how difficult it is to get, emergency services and things like that. So that idea of being completely cut off from civilized society was really interesting. The problem was I didn't care about any of the characters. Straight up, none of them were likable. Well, I mean, two of them were likable, but they weren't part of the friendship group. So, the friendship group are made up of, the people who went to Oxford and their partners. And the only two people I liked was the groundskeeper, Doug, and Heather, who sort of like hosted. She didn't own the place, but she hosted it for them. They were great, you know. This book is written in a POV style, so every chapter is a different member of the party. It's starts off with Emma, and then it goes to Heather, and it jumps between just before New Year's and present day, so just after New Year's, when the murders happened. I found it really difficult to read because of this POV style, because I didn't like any of these characters. I was reading it, and then I'd finish Heather's chapter and I'd be like, okay, cool, we're getting somewhere. And then it would go to 3 days before the event, and I'd be like, okay, I've got to listen to these whiny privileged people talk about their rich people problems and being isolated and stuff like that. I just didn't care. And I just didn't vibe with any of them. While we're talking about the POV style, I also want to criticize the actual writing of this book. The POV style would have made sense if it was consistent. So it's mostly written in first person. I did this, I said this, whatever. And then when we get to Doug's chapters, Doug, the groundskeeper, it's suddenly in third person, and that doesn't make any sense. So it goes from, Emma and Heather and all the other people, Katie and that lot, going, oh yeah, I noticed this thing, to Doug being, he did this, he trudged through the snow, his army background, like that sort of thing. It was really jarring because, if you're going to write a POV style, make it consistent. There are plenty of books. For example, The Flatshare does POV style really well because it's consistent. The Mistborn trilogy is also written in a POV style from different sort of different characters' perspectives, and that's consistent. The Flatshare is written in first person, and I believe the Mistborn trilogy, it's been a while since I've read it, but the Mistborn trilogy is written in third person. So it doesn't, like, I like the trope, but only when it's done consistently. And this wasn't done consistently. And it was just not good at all. So thank you guys for watching. I know this is a bit of a negative video, but you come to me for my honest opinions, and I give you my honest opinions. I will not be reviewing every single book I read because I'm planning on doing a sort of like monthly wrap up. So look out for that at the end of January. All right, I'll see you next time.